everyone, and welcome. Today I'm off on another little adventure, and I've got two new things that I'm doing for this camp out. The first is that right now I am sitting in the ferry lineup going to a little island called Denman Island off the east coast of Vancouver Island, where I'm going to go to a provincial park that I've never been to before, and I'm going to do an overnight in a new piece of equipment. I was gifted a tent, and it's a winter tent, unlike any tent that I've ever used, and so I'm going to go and set it up and see how it works for me. So please come along and join me and have some fun. Well, I've just arrived on Denman Island, and I'm making my way towards the beach where I'm going to set up a new winter tent. So two unknowns, and I'm hoping for a great overnight. This is absolutely fabulous. I'm really looking forward to this. So I'm just going to go back and think about where I'm going to put the tent and get the work done. And then I can enjoy this place. I've got a great afternoon. All right, I'm pretty excited. Well, that's the tent. Now, I've got to put all the clips on and two more spreader bars. But basically, for a fairly big tent, it's actually reasonably easy for me to put up. The hardest part for me is holding the two diagonal main poles and then getting the hook up. Now, if I was another 6 inches taller and a little stronger, it'd be a piece of cake. And it's still not hard, but it did take me a little while at home to figure out how to get this up without hurting myself. I was trying to make it way more difficult than it is, and it's actually really quite straightforward. So now what I'm going to do is put some of the clips on, and then there's another two bars that hold the front and the rear. So I'm very anxious to try this tent. I say it's a lot more tent than I have ever had, and I've had a lot of tents, but it's very interesting and it's very innovative. So I'm just going to carry on and show you it as I go along. So one step at a time, I'm just going to go around, put in the stakes, and then I'll show you the inside because it's a pretty interesting little setup. Okay, I'm in. This is quite the tent. Anyway, it's really interesting. So you have this front vestibule section, which the wood stove goes in, and with no floor, so that you can bring in your muddy feet and not get your bedding area wet or dirty, which is, I think, is a bonus for sure. And so you have this back bedroom area, and it's made of the same material as the outer tent. So there's all these layers of insulation. Both the inner and the outer tent are lined with mylar, so there's this reflective heat capturing ability. But there's lots of screens and openings, so that hopefully there'll be adequate ventilation without too much condensation. That was my first thought. But I'll show you a little bit closer inside the sleeping area. So I have the outer door open, so we've got more light in here, and the screen's on. There's vents on each side which can be shut, and you can reach through to shut the outer vent as well from inside. And the same is true of the ones in the ceiling. There's also a net up here for storage, and there's storage all the way along each end. There's pockets that you can put your bits and pieces in. Anyway, so this is the tent. It's pretty luxurious, and it's a pretty heavy-duty tent. It weighs about 17.5 pounds, I think. But anyway, this tent was gifted to me. I'm not under any obligation to say anything about it. It was given to me by the 4 people who designed it, and they're from Oregon. And I guess they wanted a tent that suited their needs. And they saw that I was doing some winter camping and thought that I would be maybe more comfortable in this tent of theirs. I'm not sure that I'd ever buy a tent like this, because I'm not going out in blizzards and in 2 feet of snow and really severe conditions in the winter. So I'm going to carry on setting up, get my bedding in, get the stove in. The stove is off to the side instead of in the middle, which I think I'm going to like, because it's going to give a little bit more room in this area. So I'm going to carry on setting up my campsite, and then I think we got to get to that beach. That's what we came here for. And boy, is it a lovely beach. So enough about tents. Wow. Finally, I'm at the beach. I just couldn't wait to come and sit down. Anyway, oh, this is perfect. I'm just going to sit here for a while. I just don't know how I've not come here before. I can assure you, I'll be back. I hope you like it, because I'll be happy to bring you back. I'm trying to think when I could come again for more than one night. And now I'm just going to sit here and listen to the waves and just enjoy the moment. Okay, got some wood chopped. Now I'm just going to get a little fire going. I'm also going to get my little twig stove going too, because dinner is going to be cooked on that. But I need a little bit of fire to sit beside while I'm cooking dinner. So I'm about to get going with that, because I'm starting to get a bit hungry. First thing I'm going to do is light my little Bushbox LF twig stove. I've got some briquettes in it, and I'm going to get those coals ready, and I'm going to do the chocolate chip cookies again. I just enjoyed them so much I couldn't wait to do it again. So I'm going to do that first. And after I've got the cookies done, I'm going to do a little roast chicken thigh with some vegetables. And so I'm really glad I've got this fire going. I should be able to sit out here for the next hour or so and be comfortable while I make dinner. So let's get at it. Okay, I'm going to now put the billy can on. Got the stones in there, and now they're going to heat up. And then I'm going to shut the lid and let this whole thing get nice and hot. So cross our fingers. They were so good last time. They couldn't have been better, and so it's a high standard to try and live up to. Well, the timer's just gone, so I'm going to give it a go. Whoa, they look a little bit done. Oh, but they're still fine. Look at that. The cookies broke as I took them off. I was just trying to do it one-handed. But they're not burned. So they're completely edible. All right. So the ones I did the first time, they would have won in the baking award show. These ones, they're not getting any marks for appearance. All right. But anyway, I'm going to be eating them regardless. So I'm just going to now replenish some of the briquettes for the little stove, and I'm going to get my dinner in because that's going to take a while. So I've got some carrots, some potatoes, and a chicken thigh, which I have sent in some salt and pepper and some herbs, and I've also got some olive oil on. So I'm going to pop that into the little stove, shut this down for at least a half an hour, and check it then, and hopefully it'll be time for dinner. Well, tonight I'm having dessert before the main course. It's so nice to eat them while they're warm. Despite the mess, they taste really, really good. So, no problems here. Well, I smell dinner. So, it's been half an hour and I'm going to have a look. That's just about got it. I'm going to give it 5 more minutes. It's really coming along really, really well. Smells great. 5 minutes, and then it'll be time to eat. All right, I'm in the tent. I lit the fire. It was just getting pretty damp out there. I could have stuck it out, but why when I have a comfortable place to be? Got the door open, not ready to shut that yet, and I've got dinner with an appetizer of chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going to sit here and just enjoy this. It's done beautifully. It's so good. I am so impressed with this billy can cooking with the twig stove. I mean, you could do it in other ways too. You could do it in cast iron, but when you're trying to have small amounts of gear, potentially some things that you could carry rather than packing cast iron around. This is absolutely fantastic. And now I'm sitting in my rather deluxe little tent with my stove on. It's hard to feel like I'm being hard done by or I'm toughing it out in any regards. So, winter camping doesn't have to be, even in a tent, obviously it does not have to be an endurance sport. It can be done well and comfortably, and you can have really good food. At least that's been my experience with last winter, and now this winter I've done more winter camping. I'm still not out there every week, but still, and I do pick my weather envelopes, right? I'm a bit picky about when I come, but nonetheless, this is a pretty fine way to spend time. One other camper here. It's perfect. The crowds of summer do not exist in February, and there's something to be said for that. So I'm going to dig in here and enjoy this while it's hot. Well, I thought I'd show you my cozy little tent. I've got my chair over in the corner and my table, and over on this side, this is the stove, there's the wood, and I've got my kitchen bin, and in the back there is my bedroom. So here's where I'm going to sleep. It's quite spacious for one person, that's for sure. I've got my sleeping mattress and my down quilt, some lights in here, lots of pockets. There is room over there that Bob and I could possibly sleep in here, but it's not likely that he's going to want to come and do this. But there's room for Milo, my dear little dog. So this might be a good tent for introducing Milo to tent camping. So I've got everything in here that I need, and I've got my lights on, and I'm just going to enjoy this evening. Yeah, it's going to be a good evening, and I had a great dinner. The chicken was perfect. Everything was just great. Really enjoyed that. So it's now time to sit back and just relax, listen to some music, maybe read my book, and just enjoy being out here. I can hear the ocean in the background. It's too early for bed yet, but it's not too early to sit and relax. Good morning. I'm happy to say I made it through the night in my little tent here. It was quite comfortable. I was warm. The only thing that was going on last night was wind that I hadn't expected. One thing I noticed is that the chimney is a bit too tall for this tent. I need to investigate getting a shorter rolled chimney. The way it is right now, it really catches the wind. And it was moving about, and even though I had a guide out, hear the chimney squeaking on the stove a bit, and that didn't make me happy. So I can fix that, and I only have 2 guy out ropes on my chimney. Really should have 3, so I'm going to fix that. So I'm just going to have my coffee, and then I'm going to make some pancakes and bacon. So we'll get at that in just a few minutes. Whoa, perfect. Well, that was really a great breakfast. I'm down at the beach again, and just having another look before I actually start to pack up and put things away. I'm reluctantly going home. I'd really like to come back here and spend at least 2 nights and do some exploring. I haven't really even explored this park properly, and I have a feeling that we would all enjoy having a look around. So how about we come back and spend a couple of nights another time? I don't know, I might bring my van. It would be a great place to bring Milo, actually. It's really great to have found a place that it's just really calling me to come back very, very soon. So I think I'm gonna go back up and start packing. Well, the first night in the palace was actually pretty darn good. I enjoyed it very much. I say I'm not doing a review on this tent. I also feel like after one night, that's not enough time to come to a conclusion about too much. So overall, it was great. It'd be interesting to actually try this in a real rain. I don't imagine it would leak, but you know, you never know till you try, right? And oh my goodness, there's this huge young eagle that just landed on a stump. If I try to go over there, it's going to fly away.